Today I'm going to make something. What's that? I don't. Okay, so what I've got here is I'm going to be making like a Christmas tree pincushion. I have made these in the past, but I just thought it might be nice to make another one. I like to make a different Christmas tree, crafted Christmas tree every year, one or two. I've made different styles, and I think I have a playlist, I think lace Christmas crafts or lace Christmas decorations. It's something like that. I'll put a link to that in the description box below. I've just made a little pattern up for myself, and the pattern is a lot smaller than what I want the tree to be. So it is approximately about 13.5 inches from tip to base. Now 13.5 inches there does it equal the same here? I think it does. Yeah, it does. Okay, so all the way around it's 13.5 inches, and it's not quite a right angle. It's like, if that's the base there, it's slightly more than a right angle. Like the right angle would be like that, and it's going a couple of inches past at the top there. So that gives you an idea of how big the actual tree is going to be. And I've just used some wedding dress satin for mine, and I'm going to be using some of the beautiful laces from Crafty shop to decorate it. And so now you could glue this quite easily. Let me just put that out of the way. I like to keep the patterns that I put together just so, you know, if I want to make another one at a later stage, I can. And I was thinking this beautiful lace here, it has like a Christmas tree effect. Now, I know that looks really tiny compared to what this is, because I was going to initially just do a smaller one, but the pot I found to put it in, it needed a bigger tree. Just let me show you. I found this at the when thrifting, and it's a lovely milk glass bowl, but it didn't have a lid with it, so I thought, well, it would be nice to make a Christmas tree, because I generally use nice little pots, and I've used a couple of other milk glass pieces in the past, so it will sort of blend in, you know, coordinate a little bit. But it needed a much bigger tree than that. So this will go in it, along with other things, but you can see that will be a much better size for it. So I'll just put the pot to one side at the moment, and I'm just going to see whether I want the shiny side showing through or whether I just want the matte side showing through, which I might actually do. Let me just have a little look. Of which I prefer. I like them both. I do like them both. I'm just trying to... You know, it's Christmas. You can go all out in Christmas. As much as I like the matte side, I think because it's going to be for... Oh, I generally don't like using shiny fabrics for a pincushion if you can just see that, like if that was it like that, because they can pull very easily when you put pins and things in them. But because that has the lace over the top, it may be quite all right. I'm going to have to put some tulle over all of it, I think, not just this piece. So I need to go and find, what's this? See, I've got, this is one of the newer laces, but I have some beautiful laces here, and I have this lovely, is that it? No, this one here. I have this one. It's just slightly a creamy colour though, I think. Isn't it beautiful? It's a collar piece. I'm just trying to see which side would be the right side. That side is the right side. That might, just thinking whether that might work for on the bottom of it a bit. I'm sorry you can't see it all. If I put that, I may have to have it like, see, it's a bit too much of a curve, that one. Let me have a look what else is here. There is this other beautiful lace here. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. It's so pretty, this lace. That has a slight curve to it as well, but I could do it in pieces. But I won't actually be putting these pieces on until I've stitched this. I'll probably glue the lace applique pieces on, because when it's stuffed it takes on a different look. So sometimes it's best not to put the final touches on till after you've actually put the tree together. So maybe I'll just stitch this first. Oh my goodness. I also have this one. Isn't this glorious? Look at this. It's real. Oh, isn't that? I wonder if that would work. Although it's got pastel colours in, I really don't mind. I don't really use pastel colours for Christmas, but I could have this in my room year round. Oh, and all these laces are from Crafty Me's shop, whether I've purchased them myself or they were sent as a design team package. And I think that's okay, because Esme has different things all the time. This gives you an idea of the beautiful things that she sells. I may go with that. We'll see. If I use this one, because it's like, I'm just seeing, see, you can't really tell whether it is shine. Oh, you can a little bit. And I think I prefer the shine behind it as well. But I think I'll still need a tulle over it, because this has organza. And I need it to blend in a little bit. So I'm going to go and find some tulle, a bigger piece for that. Okay, I've got this one here. That one is a nice soft, I think it's an old wedding veil. Just, we shall have a little, oh, don't need to see all my mess, do you? We shall have a look if that will work all right. Oh, this is beautiful. That way you can see it through there, and it makes it blend in quite nicely. I think that may work, and I can just cut that a little bit better. So I'll sew some of this beautiful this tulle onto this satin. I may have to go and press this piece of satin, although, you know, once they're puffed out with the stuffing, the creases do tend to disappear, but I would like to press it, I think, just in case. I've got to find the end of the tool so I can actually, it's not actually a veil, it's the bottom of a large dress by the look of it. So I'll have to just cut a piece off here, because it's, and work it out from there, I think. Okay. Okay. Some tools are quite brittle. It's hard to rip them, but this one is quite all right to rip. Okay, that's a more manageable piece. And what I can do is, okay, I hope everybody's been well. It feels funny to be doing crafting again. I've been doing so much hand stitching. It's nice to be doing something other than that at the moment. I love the hand stitching, but it's fun to do this sort of thing and use a bit of glue and, you know, just play around. Okay, I think that will be fine. I can probably press that after I've stitched it together. Okay, we need some nice sharp needles for the pins for this. There we go. And it's November already. Isn't that November? Before we know it, it will be Christmas. And those last few weeks really creep up on you, don't they? And you think you've got a lot of time left, and then all of a sudden the time's gone. So I thought I might start doing a few Christmas things. There's a few things I would like to do, but whether I get to do them or not, I'm not quite sure. I wanted to make something special in December. I have to mull it over in my head a bit, I think, because I think it would be a lovely thing to do. And yeah, okay, that looks about right. So I'll do that, and then I'll be able to put this on, and that will look really quite pretty, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've done that. I have trimmed it. I've just run a zigzag stitch all the way around, and now what I'm going to do is that is going to be the right side. So I'm going to put the corners together. I also gave it a light press like that, and I'm going to, where's my pins? I'll just put a couple of pins, and if you don't want to use pins, you can just clamp it or nothing at all, I guess. It's just because it's quite slippery. Satin tends to move around a little bit when you're sewing, so it's always good to have things held in place. Okay, so you can sew that down that side, and what I'm also going to do is put a gathering stitch around the bottom of it as well. So I'll just put a gathering stitch all the way along the bottom, and then I'll be back. Alright, so I've done that. Then what I've done is I've cut out a couple of circles. They fit in the top of that just to help secure it to the actual base. I think that will work all right, but of course that's a lot smaller than the base of the tree, so I'm going to, it will have to be gathered up around the base and tucked around the top of this, and of course it'll have to be stuffed as well. Find my thread. Okay. I did a double stitching line. It always seems to give a nicer gather when you have two gathering lines. Not that you'll rarely see it, but, and it's also, if one thread snaps while you're pulling it, you've got another thread there as well, which is always very helpful. I accidentally backstitched on the first one I did here, so I'm just going to pull the little back stitch out. If it's backstitched, you can't really pull it. Okay, I can use that. There we go. That's probably enough. And we'll even it out once it's been stuffed up. Let's just have a look. Of course, it'll have to be turned to the right side as well, but that will that will give it that stability at the bottom, and that will be tucked over like that. And then that will probably go on there like that to go on. Now, whether I actually do attach it or just sit it on top, I will work that out once it's all stuffed. So now I got to go find some stuffing for this. Let's just get that through. We'll just use that. Try not to use anything too sharp for the end because you don't want to push it right through. And I don't need a real crisp top on it. That is quite good enough. So that's how we're looking. Okay, I'll go find some stuffing and stuff it, and then I'll come back and pop that in the bottom and glue it to that. Alright, so I've done that and I've put stuffing in. This is just cushion stuffing. You can use fibre fill if you want, but it's basically the same sort of stuff. And you can get cushions from thrift shops a lot cheaper than buying new ones. Just make sure you give them a, you smell them. You don't want smelly stuff or anything like that. So now we want one of our cardboard pieces, and that will be going inside here. And just slip that in carefully. This is just pinned at the moment, but it should be simple enough just to manipulate inside like that. Take it over, then there we go, and then put your can kind of fiddle with the shape of it once everything is in the position properly. You need to be gluing it into place, but that's basically what it looks like at the moment. With your pattern for making the tree, the wider this angle, the fatter the tree will be. If I was to make it like that, it would be a narrow, skinny tree. As you can see, it would end up like that sort of thing. So the larger this, the wider this angle here is splaying out, the fatter your tree will be at the base. I needed mine to be quite fat at the base because my pot is quite wide. Okay, now I have to glue that into position. What I'm going to do, I think, is tie my threads. No, I might glue it and then tie my threads because I know that might slip a little bit once I take that out. So I'm just going to, will I use fabric? No, I'm not going to use fabric glue. I'm going to use, if you want to use hot glue, you can. I'm actually going to use quick dry adhesive because I want it to dry very quickly. And this is a nice strong glue made by Helmar. So, and I do have the fan on in my room. Any strong glues that you use, you will need good ventilation because of the fumes from them. So now remember, this won't be seen. So I hope I'm under the camera. It keeps rolling around. Okay. I'm trying to get that fairly in the center, the cardboard piece. Okay. Like that. I come back and do a bit of this. So I'm going to just have a look. That looks fairly even in the center. I'm just going to allow that time to dry, and then I'm going to unpin it, tie the threads off like that, and then kind of manipulate the stuffing a little bit so that my tree looks fairly even. And it is well stuffed. You do have to stuff them quite well. It could have probably had a bit more in there too, but it, it is just a decoration. And let's have a look. Pins go in it really, really easy. It's just, there we go. And the tulle over it, if it will help the satin not to pull as well. Okay, so that looks fairly good. Take the pin out there. And tie this off. Okay. I might put just a little bit of glue on that notch. There, like that. And okay. like a Dr. Seuss tree, isn't it? But that should be the right size for that. Oh, isn't that so pretty? I will definitely have this in my room on display if it turns out the way I'm hoping it. And I'm thinking it might be just the right size, you know. Let's have a look. I'm thinking I need to cut it there like that. What's the other end? Where's that cut? Oh, I'll use, might be easier to start it from this side. And I, remember when you're cutting anything beaded, you do need to glue the backs where the beads are, where you're going to be cutting it, so that nothing falls apart. So there. I'm not sure. Okay, that looks, okay. A little bit over there like that, just in case. I might just cut it as 2 pieces to start with and then see where we need to cut it afterwards. That. So I'm going to cut down there. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting some glue on either side of where I will be cutting. I'll cut around that flower there. Like that. Okay, that should be all right. I need that glue to dry, and then I'll cut that down there, and then I can have a look at it on the tree. Alright, so I ended up cutting each piece out. So I have one at the front and one at the back, and then the pieces that came that were joining them, because it was too wide and wouldn't sit properly, I will put those in like that to fill up that space there, and these little pieces here will come off as well, as will these little bits at the top there. And what they will do is, when I've taken them off, they will actually fill in this little piece here as well. And I've just got pins in that holding those in position until I've got it how I want it. In fact, I won't have to take the dangly pieces off both the front and the back. Just like maybe that one will come off and that will fold over. So that one will come off and that will fold over. That, sorry, that's my son playing his game in the background there. That one will go over, so like opposites on each one. And this little part here will kind of, let me show you, there's the little stand, and that will go on, and it'll kind of go like that. It will just hang over just a little bit. I may put some rhinestone trim around this. I may put a little bit of lace popping out. I'll have to see, but I like the firm base. It will hold it nicely. There, and I may cover that and put that on there, which will hold it in position. And We'll see whether I glue it permanently on. When you glue onto these pots though, if you're just using craft glues and things like that, you can remove them at a later date and use the pot for something else. I could leave it so it's removable, so I can put things in there like, you know, threads and things like that if I'm going to have it on display throughout the year. So what I'm going to do now, see, that's what it's looking like. Oh, I'll have to take photos when it's done. What I'm going to do now is put glue on the backs of these around, especially around these pieces here, so that I can trim it up without losing all those beautiful beads and sequins. And then I will I may stitch it into place, because when you start using glues on pincushions, you can't use pins where you put the glue because the pin doesn't want to go through the glue. So, but if I stitch it, I can put pins wherever I want and it will be fine. So that's what I might have to do, which is what I do on my sewing machines and things like that anyway, so that's not a problem at all. So I'm going to go glue the backs of these, trim them up, and perhaps I'll show you how I stitch it on. Okay, I'll be back. Alright, so it's another day or so later now, and I'll show you what I've done. I've stitched all one side on already, as you can see, it's all stitched down, and I've started to stitch the other side down, and I just wanted to show you how I was stitching it. I've got to okay, so I start off and I stitch in the center of the applique and work my way around like that, just going from each little decoration to the other. I've then gone around here and stitched this part, and I'm about to go up here, and I'll just show you how I do that. So I have a double thread of cotton on a small needle, and I may just have to unpin that for a moment. That was just to make sure I was staying central. What I do is I see where it is I need to put it in, which is here. I've got the end knotted, and I'm just going to attach my thread there like that, and then come back up through the applique so I've got it anchored. And now I can re-pin that top part there to keep it central, like that. I have my needle and thread, I have my coming out like that. And now it's really easy to sew this. All you have to do, my thread is coming out here, and so I'm not taking a huge stitch, I'm just taking a small stitch and a huge stitch underneath and bringing it back up in another place underneath, you know, the decorative part, so you'll never see the stitching. So we've only got a tiny little stitch there, which you will probably never even notice, and the larger stitch goes underneath into the padding, and it's come up there between those beads. I'm just going to take a small stitch and bring it back up over here, and I do that all the way around. So I will go all the way up there, along like that, and down to there. I've already done this part here. Then I'll go across to this side. I'll go back up here, and then I'll make my way around the flowers and then back down there. Oh, hello. I still have to attach it down here, so I'll probably then come down here and stitch all along this bottom part. I did leave this loose at the bottom here. I'm still a little bit undecided exactly what I will do. I just need to put the cat down. Good girl. I just basically wanted to show you how easy it actually is to stitch this. And because it's all spongy, when you put your needle in, you just manipulate it so it comes up like over the top of your nail or something. You know, it's not hard at all. And once you get going, it moves very quickly to keep it in place, but it also keeps it really soft. There's no glue involved. If I wanted to add decorations to it or anything, I may use glue. I'm not sure. I haven't got to that stage yet. So I'm just going to continue around stitching on my appliques. On the side here, on both sides, like I said I was going to like put that there, but I don't think that's quite enough. So what I thought I might do is that may go that way, and I'll have a look, see if I've got a scallop lace that I can use. If not, I may have to use another piece of the bottom of this to go around the bottom there, which would look quite nice, and pop it underneath that one. So but when I get there, I'll come back on and I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, I am back, and I have stitched the little scallop on the bottom there. I just took it up underneath the edge parts. Then I've pinned into place this little applique here and one further up the top there, and I'll just show you the other side because I haven't done this side yet, as you can see, and I'll show you how I'm just going to place those on. So we have, is this the one? No, that's not the one. This is the one here that I'm going to be putting on here, and I'm just going to place it like that and put a couple of pins in it to hold it in position. And then what I will do is, I want that over the top, I think, compare it to the opposite side to see if they look fairly similar. So that one I've put there, and then where's the other little one? Little flower one, I think. Where have I put that? It's here somewhere. Quite sure. Has that gone? That's not it, is it? Oh, yes it is. Okay, this is the other one. But I only want the central flower piece on that one. I've already put a bit of glue on the back, so now I can just go ahead and cut out the part I want around that organza. Like that. And carefully between the stitching there. I want that across there, which I've glued. Okay. And that, how did I do it? Was it, okay, the leaf side is going up. Okay, let's have a look here. Where did I put it? On the base of that flower, I guess. So just about there. Yep. Pin that, and that will fill that little gap up there nicely. Now to just compare the sides, that looks fairly even at the top here. There's both the tops there, so that's pretty even. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that will be fine. And now this one down the bottom here is just overlapping a little bit. This one can probably be moved up a little bit, I think. Just perhaps like that, I think. Maybe not quite that much. Maybe like that. Like that. And like that. They're not going to be exact because, you know, the cushion is a little bit different. Is that how I want it? I think that will be fine. I think that will be fine. Yeah. Yeah, that will be fine. You can't see both sides at the same time anyway, so but that will be fine. I do need to find something to put around the bottom though, because when this goes against this, see, it just doesn't look very finished around this part here. So I need something that will make it look nice there. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch these pieces. I will stitch around there and then I will just slightly like tack this piece to this piece. I'm trying to work out whether I want that on the top, or I think I do actually. I like it on the top rather than this on the top. I think it looks pretty. It's nice and sparkly, isn't it? Yes. Okay, I'll go ahead and stitch those and then I'll be back. Alright, so that's all sewn on now down both sides. And the top of it, I haven't closed the top of it up yet. I was wondering what to do right on the top. They're not exact because both appliques are exactly the same, but because they're put on either side, one goes one way and one goes the other way, just ever so slightly at the top. It's not that big a deal. I do have, if I can get it, I do have some little trinkets that Esme sent me, and these are usually sometimes available. I think she has something called like a candy box, and it has all sorts of things in it, like laces and trims and sometimes little jewelry bits and things. And these ones have a pair of earrings. They're really pretty, and they have the Aurora Borealis, the colourful crystals in them. And because the sequins on this are rather colourful as well, they have those the colours in them. I thought these might be nice to use. I'm hoping they're not too heavy. I was going to put like one on the top there. I might just clip it on for the time being to see what that looks like. It can't be, I'll have to remove a bit of the backing, I think, because it's actually quite heavy. Let's have a look. Something like that on the top, perhaps. It's quite heavy. I might have to stitch it a bit lower down, about there, perhaps. Down there. Maybe I could do it on either side. That way it won't drop one way or the other. Let's have a look. Oh goodness, this drawer's stuck. Oh my, that was hard. Okay, let's see if we can the back off of this. Hopefully it will come off without too much trouble. Usually a bit of wiggling and they come apart quite easily. This one doesn't want to come off. Got it. Okay. That makes it a lot lighter. It's still not light, but trying to think which way to put it, whether that way might be nice or that way. I kind of like that way. There is a tiny little hole where I pulled that thing out, so I'll be able to stitch through there, I think. Or I can glue this, to be honest. I think that would probably work, and glue that top part together, because there's no way you're going to stick a pin in that part anyway, with the jewel being there. Okay, so I'm just using a bit of fabric glue here. I'm going to glue this part together, and that'll also add a little bit of stiffness, although fabric glue isn't that stiff, but it will add some stiffness to the top of the tray. Let's get this like that. And that's the other side there. And maybe just have that there, like that. Like a star on the top of the tray. Oh, don't drop it. Maybe I could put some nice little Aurora Borealis jewels in there as well. That might be nice. Let's get this. I don't know if that one will hold. I'm going to use a different glue for this because it's metal. This is the Quick Dry Adhesive by Helma. So it just, you know, Esme has a lovely variety of things that she sells, and you never quite know what it's going to be that she's selling until the sale comes on. You might get small sneak peeks or little glimpses of things beforehand, but you don't entirely know what's going to be there. So that is like that. Pretty, isn't it? Okay. I hope that holds. Should do. It's a good glue. It's a very good glue for holding. So now I need to get this one, and I will put it on, because if you're not careful, over time that will droop forward. So if it's got an even weight on it, it should be all right. Go. It came off a lot easier. I have some Aurora Borealis jewels, and they can act like Christmas baubles, I guess. Like that. Hold that there. Okay, so I'll let that dry, and I'll go and find those. Oh, they might be just here actually. Here they are. I don't know if these are big enough. Got those ones in gold. They're from BB Craft, those ones, and they might do nicely. How's that? Make sure it's even. I know it looks chunky from that direction, but you know, this is going to be sat up a little bit, so it'll be fine. I kind of like the gold look to it as well, so let me just see how these will look. These are so on. How do I... Let's have a look what that might look like. Whether I need to use those or glue-on ones. Oh, it's hard to tell. Maybe I'll stitch one on just to get an idea, just loosely perhaps, and see. Let me just try and get a thread through here. I can always take it off again. I'll leave a little tail. I mean, it would need a couple more stitches than that, I would think. Making this look hard, aren't I? There we go. Trying to decide whether something like that, or what I think I will do is take a photo of that one stitched on so I can see what it looks like from a different perspective. And see whether I like it or not. Sort of walk away for a bit and see if I like it. I just want to make it sit. Has it got one there? Yeah, it has. Okay. So I can kind of stitch it from both directions, and it might lay a little bit better by doing that. There. Might be easier to glue it on, oh my goodness. There. I don't know if I like that actually. It might be just enough with that. I'll take a picture, I'll walk away, and I'll see what I think. See, that's pretty, isn't it? Just having those sorts things on. I really did think I had some sticker, you know, or flat backs, this kind of colouring, but obviously not. Okay, I'll all right, I can't really go any further at the moment with what I've done because I've got to go out tomorrow. I want to either get a small piece of tinsel. This is the only small white tinsel I've got, and this tends to go more towards the pink side. It would work, but I don't have enough of it. Or something like this with the teardrops, and once again I just don't have enough of that to like go around that, so it would kind of fill up the gap a little bit between the base and the tree. So either something like that, or you know, something like a small white tinsel just to close that gap. But I changed the top. I put a flower behind the earring, and I took the one off the other side. I'll have to see if that stays sturdy enough that it doesn't bend. If it does tend to bend, what I thought I could do is these long stick pins. You know, I could just pop a stick pin in the back there, perhaps like that, and that would keep it nice and stiff from bending. In fact, I mean, I could just leave that in there, but that's an idea. I didn't decorate the back at all, but the front I did. I've got that there. I'll put it. I'll do a proper picture once it's on its stand. Then going up there now, actually all these flowers came from Gail, who is Gail Father of 4 on YouTube. What I've done is I've just used a stick pin and glued the flowers to the long stick pin so that I can just pop that in wherever I please to decorate the front of the tree. I have a couple, like that's a stick pin there. These are stick pins, these larger flowers as well. And I've just, you see that? That one's a little bit different. That actually has a stick pin that's got that little plate on the back of it that I can stick things to and have it looking very pretty like that. And then we've got some of the Aurora, those colourful, oh my goodness me, those colourful, what are they? Now I've even forgot that. I forgot what they're called. That's another stick pin there. That's a stick pin. That's a stick pin there as well. And you can just decorate it up however you please. And that's a stick pin there as well. Aurora Borealis, I think that's it. That's a stick pin. That's a stick. Yep, that's a stick pin there. So I've just decorated it like that. So next time I come back, I'll be putting some trim. I'll be putting that on top because that just helps to stabilize it. I'll be gluing that there, putting some trim around there, and then gluing the base to that base. So the tree to the base, and then we'll be finished. All right then, so it's a couple of days later, or a day, I don't know, it's Sunday afternoon now, and I showed you my tree with the flowers and things on it, and I said I wanted to get some tinsel for the base of the tree. Couldn't find any tinsel, the kind I wanted, but I did find this small feather boa trim from Craft, and I think that might work just as nice. So I bought a bit of that this morning when I was out, and I think that might look quite nice just to finish it off. So what I'm going to do is get my quick dry adhesive from Helmar, which is a nice strong glue, but just to let you know, even though it's a really strong glue, if at some later stage I want to remove this cardboard from this milk glass piece, I can get it off. It's not like jewelry glue that just, you know, once it's there, it's like concrete. It's a lovely strong hold, but I would be able to move it off, to get it off this at a later date if I wanted to. So, and I thought about leaving it so I could take the tree on and off. But I doubt I would put anything in it and use it that way anyway. It's an ornamental decoration, and it will either go in my craft room, well, it can be in my craft room all year, but it could also go in my bedroom because I have bits of pink in my bedroom, so it would look quite pretty. It kind of won't blend in too much with the Christmas decor, although it could. I never know until I start putting the Christmas things up what pieces I'm going to use. Okay, so I've got that on, and I've got the piece under here, but I thought what I would do was glue this around the edge now, like that, and then put some glue on the cardboard of that and put this on top, and hopefully it will be nicely scented. So I'll put this glue on the edge of the cardboard because it's fluffy. It will catch. So busy out this morning. We had to go over to the shopping centre, and it's a rainy day, and so there were so many people there. Luckily we didn't have to stay too long for things. And then I called in at Lincraft on my way home for this, but I couldn't believe how busy it was there. All right, so I'm just going to go like that, I think. Hold it for a sec and feel around. This will make it look nice and Christmassy. And I bought a bit more of this than what I needed because I thought it might be nice on something else, if I make something else. Now I've got to cut it here, and we know that's going to get fluff everywhere. There we go, nice and fluffy everywhere. Can't really see the join, which is good. Might just put a bit more glue under that part there. Oh, because it may have just dried off a bit. It does dry quickly, that's why it's called quick dry. There we go. There. Okay, what I'll do is just flip it over like that, give it a firm press. Now I'll have to work out how I'm going to centre this properly. I want two legs at the front. There's seashells on that. I've looked online what the lid of this looks like as well. So if I ever see one in the shop, I will pick it up so that I've got the lid for it, and then perhaps put the tree on something else. Okay, let's have a look. That's pretty. Let's see how we're going to do this. So it's going like that, and like that, I think. How am I going to centre that properly? I'll just have to guess it, I think. Like that. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to stand it there like that. I'm going to get my glue out and only tilt it up and put the glue under as far as I can. So it's like that. I hope you can see. I'm just going to tilt it up. No, that's not really going to work because it's not going to... Oh, perhaps I should have done that part first and put it on there. I wonder if I can... Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so we've still got this. That wasn't quite dry, so it came up quite easily. What I'm going to do is roll all the lace back like that. Hopefully I don't damage anything. And I can put it on there, like that, I think. And then put it back on there, because that will slot into the groove. We will try that. We'll put a bit in the middle as well, just in case it does make contact. I'm not sure if it will though. Okay. How am I going to do that? I just have to guess, I think. I just have to guess where it goes. That looks pretty good. So it's just to finish the bottom of the thing off so it doesn't look gappy. Put a bit more glue on here. Okay. Now we want this. Just fold the lace bits back so we don't catch those on the glue. And I'll get it situated on there. I think that's it. I think we got it. Like that. And like that. Okay, let me... Okay. I think we got it. It looks like we might have. Okay. Okay, alright, so, oh, I made it a bit crinkly there. Dearie me. So what I thought with this, I don't know if it's going to work or not, was I might make a couple of stick pins. Let's Let's see if it will work. I just want a little bit of fluff, perhaps. Get a couple of pins. Do we want pearls? Like that. Like that. Just see if it looks any good first. Then I can always just put it in and it adds like a bit of, maybe not there, a bit of fluff. Yes, I like that. See how that just adds that little bit of, that tuft of fluff on there. So messy. This is going to be all around my room. Thank goodness for vacuum cleaners. There we go. Get rid of the excess. Isn't that cute? Look at that little fluff ball. And find a spot perhaps here. Like that. I like that. There we go. Another bit over there. This way. It's so hard to see it. I'll have to take a photo. But I'm saying it's done. It's all done. Yay. And of course you could go ahead and add as many embellishments to something like this as you like. Let's just see if I can get that up a bit higher for you. There's the fluffy bit. You can, like, you don't see a lot of it, but it does finish the bottom off, which is nice. I'll take a proper photo and add it at the end of this. Yes, quite happy with that. I'll leave it to dry now. And there we go. My first Christmas ornamental decoration for 2020, using the absolutely gorgeous wedding applique trim from Crafty Me shop, along of course with the lovely earring piece as well. And I hope you like it, and I hope you learnt something, and give it a go. You could do it in any style you like, but like I said, you know, you could have this sort of thing in your craft room throughout the year and actually use it as a pincushion if you like. So it's up to you. Maybe not even this big, maybe a smaller one. Just cut it to the size that you desire. So I'll put all the links to Crafty Me shop in the description box below, and when you go to the Facebook page you will have to request to join the group, and that's just a simple request, and they will let you in, and each week there will be like a notification at the top of the Facebook page telling you when the next sale is on. It is usually a live sale, but they do sometimes have a sale by pictures. I'm not quite sure exactly what they call that. But just if you read the notification, the post at the top of the Facebook page, it will explain to you what is going to be happening that particular week. Okay, so take care, everybody.